Since its origins in 1938, DC Comics has told the story of many heroes shrouded in mystery, from Mr. Miracle to Phantom Stranger. DC Comics has a wide range of characters who are surrounded in mystery and present many questions for readers. Not only does this leave some unanswered intrigue for the readers, but it also allows writers to craft unique characters without being too tied down by lore. DC's heroes represent a range of mysteries, from the wonders of the cosmos to simply being shady, deceptive characters that neither reader nor hero can trust. Even today, many of the best heroes remain hard to figure out, with their mysterious nature keeping readers always coming back for more. 10. Mr. Miracle. Mr. Miracle escapes a trap as Oberon looks on in DC Comics. As the son of Highfather raised by Darkseid and Granny Goodness, Mr. Miracle is a product of the cruelty of Apocalypse, the goodness of New Genesis, and the love of Big Barda. Trained by the original Mr. Miracle, Thaddeus Brown, scot-free is the greatest escapologist in DC. Mr. Miracle's mystery comes from any great magician's mystery, the unseen nature of his tricks. The hero has been able to escape some of the most daring scenes in DC, such as being trapped on a sinking submarine at the bottom of the ocean, only to appear above ground like nothing happened. 9. Etrigan the Demon. Etrigan the Demon roaring in flames during the Future State Justice League story in DC Comics. Jack Kirby's Etrigan the Demon is the fusion of an old Arthurian knight, Jason Blood, with a demon from hell who can be summoned by blood when needed. Having lived for more than 1,000 years, Blood has crafted the illusion that he's simply the latest in his family's line. Etrigan and Jason Blood are both embroiled in mystery, with the longevity of Blood leaving a lot of unexplored history and the hellbound adventures of Etrigan ripe for stories. Telling the stories of Blood's historic adventures could be a great way to shed light on his strange history. 8. John Constantine. John Constantine smiles and smokes a cigarette in DC Comics Vertigo. John Constantine is DC's premier dark magician, a tragic figure embroiled in the dark underbelly of the supernatural side of DC. Constantine entered the shadowy world of the occult in the Bronze Age when he met Swamp Thing and offered his magical talents to battle evil. He often has strange, unexplained contacts and resources, having built up morally dubious connections around the world. Constantine is often driven by his own impulses and desires, spending much of his time in self-exile as he takes on jobs helping people rid the world of demons and spirits. However, much of his life is still unknown, especially as far as the heroes of the Justice League Dark are concerned. 7. Madame Xanadu. Madame Xanadu DC. Madame Xanadu isn't so much a superhero as a general source of good and assistance for the magical heroes of the DCU. Her origins date back to the core of Camelot, where she was initially the mythological figure Nimue, Merlin's lover. However, after a betrayal, the two magicians were at odds, and Merlin stripped her of her magic. Madame Xanadu has existed for centuries, using her knowledge of magic to stay young. She became a prominent force within the world of Swamp Thing, where her mystical expertise allowed her to aid the likes of Constantine and Swamp Thing. In many ways, her story mirrors that of Phantom Stranger. 6. Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing assimilation. Swamp Thing began as a standard monster hero when the scientist Alec Holland was attacked and fled into a swamp, where he was transformed by a biorestorative formula he was working on. After the attack, he emerged from the sludge as the mossy superhero known as Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing has since been retconned as a living avatar of the green, the spiritual manifestation of the natural world. With the powers of a god, Swamp Thing is charged with protecting the green of the world from the predations and machinations of humanity, but he spends much of his time in solitude. Even his friends like Constantine can't tell how much of Holland remains or where his allegiances lie. 5. Alan Scott Green Lantern. Alan Scott leads Obsidian, Jade and the Justice Society in DC Comics. Alan Scott was DC's original Green Lantern before the creation of the Green Lantern Corps in the Silver Age. Unlike the fairly simple story of the Corps, the origins of Scott's power have never been fully explained beyond a tenuous link to an ancient lantern hero, John Lee. Alan Scott, as a man, is far from the most mysterious figure in the DCU. However, his ring's power and the prophecy behind it is one of the biggest mysteries in DC, one arguably better off unsolved. As the leader of the JSA, Scott is also its strangest member. 4. The Creeper. The Creeper in DC Comics. Beginning life as Jack Ryder, Creeper was created by legendary artist and writer Steve Ditko as a journalist and news anchor who became the chaotic hero after being given an experimental serum. Through the use of some of the very same chemicals that created Joker, the scientist Dr. Yates injected Ryder with his serum, causing him to assume the yellowish form he's known for. The Creeper is a Gothamite hero who sometimes teams up with Batman. The exact nature of his Creeper persona makes for an intriguing mystery. Much like Etrigan, Creeper is an entirely different character to writer, yet he seems to emanate from within. There's much about him still unexplained. 3. Batman. Jorge Jimenez's Batman in DC Comics art. Batman has always been something of a shadowy figure, but his modern stories have amped up the idea of his mysterious, shady operations. Whether it's his secret covert ops team in The Outsiders or his endless contingency plans and failsafes against even his own friends, no one ever knows what Batman is up to. Batman's secrecy has come back to bite him many times over, such as Ra's al Ghul's deployment of his contingencies for the Justice League or Barbados using his exploration of the dark multiverse to cross over. The shady creature of the night is the JLA's most enigmatic figure, and his secrecy defines his appeal. 2. Spectre. Jim Corrigan fuses with the Spectre in DC Comics. Spectre is the DCU's spirit of vengeance, using host bodies of heroes like Green Lantern and Detective Jim Corrigan to exact vengeance and justice on the evildoers of the universe. However, so much of Spectre, including the full extent of the spirit's origins, remains unknown. Spectre drifts through the DCU, seeking out evil to punish, and when he isn't occupying the form of Jim Corrigan, his spirit takes on new forms to enact justice. However, the deep, cosmic nature of the hero and his full connection to the presence, his age, and his full power levels are all left open to interpretation. 1. Phantom Stranger. Phantom Stranger in DC Comics. Phantom Stranger isn't just DC's most mysterious character, he's also one of the universe's most powerful figures. Cloaked in mystery, the hero travels the world defending people from supernatural threats. Though he used to be more active at a grounded level, his story has since transcended to a more cosmic scale. Some origins have explained Phantom Stranger as a cursed, immortal Judas Iscariot, doomed to walk the world for eternity to atone for his ancient betrayal. However, this origin is far from definitive, and the hero's exact place isn't fully known. He isn't quite the divine figure of Spectre, but he is a force for good. He has taken a more neutral place in the DCU in recent years.